excited. What's up, y'all? John Melton coming to you live with another episode of Money Monday. We're coming in hot. We're coming in with some absolute firepower today. So let me know if you can see me, if you can hear me. I want to make sure we are live. We are good to go. Smash that heart button. I believe we're live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, all the places. However, I don't think we're live in Facebook groups right now because Facebook's being wonky again. Michelle and I were just having that conversation. Oh, Meta, good old Mark Zuckerberg. But I think it's very important for all of us to pay attention to this conversation today because not only am I going to talk to you today with Michelle about how she just had her biggest month ever, literally enrolled 30 people personally, which, Michelle, by the way, congratulations on your best month ever. That was your best month ever, like in the history of your network marketing career, yes?
Yes.
6 years in the profession, 30 personal enrollments, which is amazing, but her team did well over 200,000 in sales, their biggest month. So her team had the biggest month. She personally enrolled the most people she ever enrolled. And your personal sales, was that number 2 or 1? Your highest sales ever?
Highest sales that I had.
That was the highest sales you ever had. 96?
Yes. 6,000 in personal.
So insane. How many of us are just like, this just like silly, ridiculous numbers? Like, and I know some of us are going to go, oh, she's an influencer. She's such a great communicator. She's so consistent. I can't do what she does. Listen, even if you could just do 10%, like how many of us would be excited to sell 9,600 and bring in 3 new recruits? Like how many are great? Just 10% of what Michelle is doing would be nice. But here's the other thing. This is going to be a unique conversation because as awesome as her month was last month, which it was phenomenal, guess what just happened? Her Facebook and Instagram got shut down. Yes, her Facebook and Instagram. And this is not the first time it's happened. And every time it happens, she has no idea why. They just tell her that she violated community standards. Why do I tell you this? Because you're like, oh, that can happen? Yeah, it can happen. You don't own your social media accounts. Sad but true. Now, luckily, she does have a backup Facebook, so make sure you guys all follow her over there so that way she can build that back up. She's got TikTok, she's got other platforms, but any one of these platforms can shut you down. And here's one of the reasons she's been crushing it. She's built a list. How many of you understand that concept? Let me know in the comments if you're building a list. Could be an email list, could be a text list. And I'm not talking about just like, well, I have people's phone numbers. I'm not just talking about like, oh, I have a Facebook group, because again, if your Facebook gets shut down, your Facebook group could also get shut down, right? So it's really important for you to build a list, because even though her accounts are shut down, we're praying, everyone make sure you pray for Michelle to get her accounts back, especially because we don't know why, right? It's the same old thing. It's like, I was in Facebook jail yesterday. I was just telling Michelle, don't know why. I think it's because I try to share a reel into my Facebook group, which why would that ever put you? I was literally in Portugal. I'm in Portugal. I'm barely on my phone, barely on social media. I think it was actually on Saturday. I try to share a reel because I have a woman on my team that is absolutely smashing it. I wanted to give her a shout out. And all of a sudden I couldn't share GIFs, whatever you call them. I couldn't share links. And it kept popping up them in Facebook jail for like 24 hours and 16 hours and 14. Like, why? Doesn't tell you. So just know this is all the more reason for you not to trust social media, not to trust Mark Zuckerberg and Meta, which is funny because I'm talking about this and you guys are watching me on Facebook. So we're grateful for Facebook in many ways. But in other ways, you just kind of want to, choke slam them. Like you guys know wrestling, like the choke slam or the body slam, you just, but you can't. So you just have to deal with it. And they don't have like a customer support. There's no like phone number. You can just call and say, hey, my account shut down. I don't know why. Can you help me get it back? With that being said, Michelle is still crushing it. And even though her account got shut down the other day, I think you still recruited 2 people the next day, didn't you?
Yes. Thank gosh.
Because she's able to communicate with people off of social media. So even though I don't know if we were going to go in that direction, we're going to go in that direction. Because if you're not building a list, now let me be clear, a list could be a project broadcast text messaging list. It could be an email list. It could be both. You need to get people off your social media, not because your account will get shut down, although that is an extreme example of what could happen. And that is what Michelle's dealing with right now. And again, fingers crossed, praying she gets it back. But at the end of the day, it just makes sense because people aren't always going to see all of your posts, all of your content. It's a way for you to stay in touch with people off of social media. So anyway, Michelle, I'm so happy to have you here. Sorry you've been going through such a nightmare situation, losing your accounts. And for those of you that maybe don't understand how big of a deal that is, just imagine having hundreds of thousands of people following you on multiple platforms, all the pictures, all the videos, all the conversations, all those relationships, all those friends just gone. So, again, she has no way of finding out what she did wrong or if she can get it back, but she does have a lot of those people on her list. Thank God for that. So, Michelle, what's up? Happy
What's
to have you on Money Monday. Are you at your new lake house? Is that where you are?
up?
That's so cool. Is this your first live video? Well, I guess you've probably been doing lives while you've been there, but
Yeah.
maybe your first live interview from the lake house.
Yep.
That's so cool. And how many of you are also excited about the Rank Up, Bank Up Power Hours that are starting next Tuesday, where you're literally going to be able to watch Michelle work for 60 minutes? I know a lot of you are already in on that. If you don't know about it, drop Power Hours in the comments. If you want to be a part of it, it'll be 6 weeks, kind of like the Rank Up, Bank Up boot camp, but it'll be, instead of like her just training you, me and her, it's going to be like literally getting on a Zoom, watching her work. How many of you think that would be helpful? Smash the heart button if you think it'd be helpful to watch her do her follow-ups, her reach outs, her connections, maybe creating a TikTok, a reel. Like, how many of you think that would be helpful? Let us know in the comments. But if you're interested in learning about that, just drop Power Hours in the comments, or you can go to mylifestyleacademy.com/power hours to possibly join us. It's going to be ridiculously good. Anyway, Michelle, what's up? I'm going to turn it over to you. How you feeling? How you doing? Congrats on the new beach house. Congrats on the record month. Bummer about losing your accounts, but we're going to get into some good stuff to help people so that they can maybe prevent that from happening and also make sure they're building their own list.
Yes, that is very, very, very important because I see a lot of people. First and foremost, John, thank you for having me on. Should I tell a little bit about my backstory?
Yeah. Let's tell your. There might be a few people on here that have never heard your story, which is probably unlikely. But for the small percentage of people that have, let's start with that. I would love that. That'd be great.
So I'll take you back to, telling, 5 years a hard no to this industry. Absolute no. I had this definition in my mind that these women who did this were, married to rich men and they maybe made like $100 a month, if that. And I used to sit around on holidays with all of my family and my sisters and talk about how I would never be that girl. And there became a part in my life where I was a single mom. I was working full time. I was going through a really nasty divorce. I had $60,000 in debt. I had to start cleaning houses. I was doing hair out of my basement. I had to quit doing hair because I couldn't be in a salon because I had to work multiple jobs. And it got to a point where my 2-year-old daughter was basically crying that all mommy did was work, and we were spending maybe a couple hours a week together. And I had a pivotal moment when I went into work as a full-time HR specialist, and I was put on as the specialist to eliminate a group of employees that were there for over 10 years. And it was a really, really hard situation. It was kind of like this light bulb moment, like,
Mm.
your life going to get better? Like, you live paycheck to paycheck. Money is your issue. I'm not going to find a guy to help me pay my bills. Like, I need to know now, after going through a divorce, that me and Bella are 100% A-okay. So it was a lot of good fire under my butt. And that night when I went home, I had all my answers because Bella was really good about going to bed for me, and she wouldn't go to bed that night, screaming out, all mama does is work, mama no hair, mama don't go in the basement. And she cried herself to sleep. And the next day, someone posted something on social media, and I reached out to the gal who reached out to me 5 years prior, and she had quit. So, okay, I'll just join a I was doing workouts through Beachbody and I was taking their supplements. I'm like, I'll just join them. I joined, ended up joining a girl who wasn't working the industry, wasn't working her business. I went on YouTube, I figured it out, I failed forward. I think that's why I'm so good at what it is that I do. I made myself.
You are very resourceful. Like, even though you're obviously annoyed, as anybody would be, losing their Facebook and Instagram. I had Stacey Hall and Nicole Domare in my inbox today. They're like, man, Michelle lost her account and she's live this morning. She's got 200 people on TikTok. Like, I'm like, yeah, she's like next level determined. Like, this is not a person that lets anybody else would be like, I'm done. You're just like, well, this sucks, but what am I going to do? I'm just going to move forward. So I love that about you. You have so much tenacity.
Yeah, I truly believe that everything's a part of your story and it's a part of your comeback story. And honestly, this could make me come out even stronger if this is how it is. So you just have to keep reminding that of yourself. It's always up and down the roller coaster, getting to where I've been There's really, really, hard days. There's really easy days, but most of it's really good. So I ended up making it to the top 1% of the company. And here I am reading personal development books, thinking I'm at my forever home, reading Six Figures to Success by Rob Sperry, doing the personal development. And I came across John, and John just had a better way. There was a better way. I watched a video. He properly educated me on what a business can look like with customers instead of signing up people as discount coaches. And after I saw it, I just did not feel the same. So I walked away from an extremely amazing income, being over at the company, 1%, top 1%, taken from me within 1 week. We weren't sure how fast that would happen, but it happened in like 5 days. And it's been proven to be the best decision that I've ever made. And I'm so grateful that I saw the big vision of the amount of lives that I could change and impact, being able to scream from the rooftop about, hero products, basically affiliate marketing on steroids, instead of the person who doesn't want to have the team underneath them. They don't want it. It's like, you don't have to have it. Here you have the best of both worlds. I love people. I love building a team. I love leadership, but I also love helping people get started on something that's absolutely changed my life. So fast forwarding now, I've been with Modere for 2 years in May. I have over 3,000, tons of customers, a team of over 150 social marketers. And I feel like I'm honestly just getting started. So I'm excited for the topic that we're going to talk about today in regards to making sure that you are capturing people's leads, because when something like this does happen, it's a moment where you stop. I was able to message everyone I have on Project Broadcast, but not only that, I had a Facebook group with 11,000 people in it, because you have to remember, everything's gone. In order for them to get into that Facebook group, they had to give me their email. So collect emails and be using a source, even like a free place like MailChimp. You don't have to pay yet. You don't have to have Project Broadcast until you grow to a level where you're like, okay, I'm starting to really get a lot of people and know a lot of people. But another thing is I have a notebook, and that pen and paper in that notebook helps me. And I also like this because you can't just put your business on automation. You can have a lot of things that are automated, but the reason why I have had so much success is because I actually pull out these people that have given me their emails, and I actually check in with them. I message them, how are you doing? I send a voice note. It's crazy that we have all these friends. If I were to ask you right now, say you have 200 friends, have you started a conversation with all 200 of those people? Better yet, have you invited them to take a look at what it is that you have, a gift? And if not, no big deal, because that's something I can tell you that I did with every single person. And if I didn't, I always just remind myself, I wouldn't be where I'm at if someone didn't do it to me. So your belief in what you have to give someone, you have to continuously be telling yourself on repeat, just like I am right now, that I'm so happy and I'm so grateful that my Facebook and my Instagram came back on repeat before something happens, that you have total belief in what you're using and total belief in your business. Because that's something with time and consistency that you can change your mindset and make it to believe that to become true, because you have to reverse engineer yourself to that goal. You're not going to just get to, I'm going to collect 100 emails in one day. First, reverse the whole cycle of, okay, I have to go and start telling myself now things are going to be presented to me, and I'm going to have aha moments in ways that I haven't before. So make sure the freebie that you're giving out, make sure the group that you're letting them be in, that you are a part of, that you're getting their contact information. You're making them opt in through an email. You're making them opt in through a phone number. So I think that'll be something that'll be a game changer for you. And then you have a next level, better way of communication on days where, say, I make myself go up to it 5 people a day, go through my Project Broadcast and actually message someone. Not automated, hey, there's a special sale going on. Like, hey, Brittany, it's been a hot second. How are you doing? I just did that yesterday with 3 people. They got restarted on the products. They're considering getting started as social marketers. 2 of them became social marketers. So sometimes, like I said, in these pivotal moments when things like this happen, it's like slow down and focus on who you have. Keep doing what you're doing. You know, go live in the morning. Instead of looking at 700 people on your live, you see 7 people. Just smile that it's 7 people. Take care of those 7 people, because this is going to be the way that I'm going to be able to show up for you now and say, what's your problem that you're on a live video with 7 people or 2 people or 1 people? Because I've been in the industry for 6 years and I had 7 people on today and I've been going live for 2 years now. So you can't focus on that. What you can focus on is that my people are going to find me, because if they found me through TikTok and Instagram and Facebook, they're still social on there. I'm going to pop up on their newsfeed again and they're going to go, oh, there she is. And then, so you just have to keep going when things get tough. And I think that's the thing for, and the accountability that comes with that, right? Like the people who signed up for the Rank Up, Bank Up, the accountability that brought to their life, the accountability that you're going to have by seeing, like, every Tuesday, I committed, John committed, like, you just do it. You committed, you just show up. And by doing that, good comes with that. It's always the good that comes with it. Otherwise, if you take your foot off the gas and you stop, what good is that going to do for me? What good would that do for you? It wouldn't. So you just continuously show up and do what you know is right. And if you feel like what you're doing isn't right, maybe you're not talking about something on your Facebook Live that is right, or you're not saying something right, the more you tell yourself that you're so happy and you're so grateful that you're changing lives through live video, it will happen eventually. It might not be right now, but eventually it will.
Yeah. And I think, for those of you that maybe are afraid to do live videos, part of me wants to be like, snap out of it, get over it. The other part of me is like, okay, if you're really that afraid to do live videos, you like, I don't know what to talk about, then do it in your stories. At least, like, if people see your face, right? And then you're also reaching out proactively. This is why Michelle does so good, because she shows up on live, she does the reels, she does all those things, but then she's also paying attention to who's paying attention to her. And she's in her stories. She's live on these platforms. Like, she'll literally go live on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at the same time, but then she's also doing the reels. She's also repurposing content. She's also, proactively reaching out to people individually, and she's doing the mass messaging. So she's not doing one or the other, she's doing both. Like, when someone first gets started, they're like, hey, should I start posting or prospecting? I'm like, I mean, it's up to you. I'm not your boss. I'm not going to tell you that you have to do one or the other, but I would do both. Like, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to post. You don't have to prospect, but then you don't have to make money either. Right? It's like, like, I have a gym membership. Like, that's not enough to get in shape. Like, there's a lot more to it. You have to just show up. And then you can't just show up. You have to show up consistently. Then you can't just show up consistently. You have to do the work every single time you're there, and not just be on your phone the whole time or chit-chatting. Like, I remember, I don't go to the gym anymore because I have a home gym now, but ever since COVID, I've been working from home. But I remember before that, I'd go to the gym and people are literally like socializing. I'll see this one group, this one, couple dudes, like, they're not even working out. They're just hanging out. That's not going to work for you, right? This business is a lot like a gym membership. You get out of it what you put into it. And in the beginning, you're probably not going to have all these leads and all these people raising their hand. And you're probably not going to be great at videos. Anything you suck at, that's exactly why we do trainings like this, to help you suck a little less. That's why we're encouraging you to do the videos and show up so people can see your face, to build that know, like, and trust. What I love about Reels and TikTok, by the way, is if you start making those short form videos, like, let's say Michelle's traveling, or she's really busy, or she's just not feeling well, right? All of us have those times or days or, situations where we just can't really show up. Well, then you can repurpose older content, but you got to create it first. You have to show up and do the do. And I think it's really important to understand that, like, Michelle doesn't just rely on people coming to her, even though she could. I mean, how many leads per day before your accounts got shut down? How many leads per day did you have that were opting into your list, sending you a text message, reaching out for more information on average, would you say, per day?
I'd say on average 50 people.
50 people.
Yes, 50 people.
Which means she doesn't really need to reach out to people. You guys get that, right?
But that took 5 years out of 6 years of being in the industry.
Right.
And when is this thing going to happen? When is it going to happen where I don't have to reach out to people, but it just happens when you do the right thing, and you'll know when it happens. Like John said, you're like, okay, this thing is happening, and you're not going to get better at doing something until you just do it.
Yeah.
So you just rip the bandage off. How I started going live was like, okay, I'm going to do 2 a week. You know, I was doing this with, when I first got started in the industry, I was doing this with 3 jobs and being a single mom. So I understand if you're not doing this full time, all you do is you set a commitment. I'm going live this week 2 times. And when you follow through with that, you build confidence within yourself.
Yeah.
You're actually hurting yourself even more by telling yourself that you're going to go live. And then each week that passes by that you just continuously are like, now it's week 6 and I still haven't done a live video. Then go do it. You know, it's like, you will be such a different person when you actually do something when you don't feel like it. Because
what would you tell someone that's like, fine, you convinced me, I'm going to do a live video? What would you tell them they should start with in the beginning when they're, you know, maybe struggling with like the kinds of videos to create, or what kind of topics?
Everyone eating. So I always like eating. Like if you're not eating on there, but like when you're making something to eat, when you're getting back from the grocery store, like there's going to be someone who relates with you, even if you're like, I don't know how to eat healthy food. The other day I saw someone going live on TikTok. She had tons of people and she was eating like, but it didn't matter because she's speaking to her people. People think that you have to be perfect.
Yeah.
You don't want to sit here and buy a bunch of vegetables and fruits if that's not you, because now you're attracting the wrong people. If you're eating dinners that are frozen, people are gonna be like, oh my gosh, then they're gonna go to your stories, then they're gonna follow you. Just be you. So what I say is, what is your passion? Is it knitting? Is it doing scrapbooking? Is it doing photography? Is it doing workouts? Is it doing, Stacy Hall goes live every morning just doing her Pilates workout, not even talking, and she gets massive amounts of leads from it because people are like, oh my gosh, I like Pilates. And every single day, and then through her stories and her content, you could be cooking. So you could be doing your nails. You could be doing your makeup. Like, what is it, your hair, that you're really good at and you just talk?
But yeah. Or how about this? How about for those of you that are afraid to do it, or like you're doing it inconsistently, how about you start interviewing people on the team?
Yep.
Interview your upline, interview a sideline, like start identifying people that you can go live with. I mean, Michelle, how many times have you and I gone live? Probably 6, 7 times at least. And I just think it's something that we, again, overthink, that analysis paralysis. You know, I heard Ray Higdon say one time, if you're making less than $1,000 a month in your home business, you're in your head. And if you're in your head, you're dead, right? Like you're not going to grow a business thinking what to say and what to do. You have to start taking action. And I know one thing that Michelle does a lot of, and so does Nadia, is use ChatGPT. Go, hey, I sell this, this, and this. These are like my favorite products. These are the systems or programs that I want to promote. Hey, ChatGPT, help me come up with some topics that I can talk about or share in my social media to generate leads and sales for my XYZ business. In fact, let us know in the comments, what kind of products do you sell? And are you building a list? In fact, if you want to be next level, I'm curious, how big is your list? For those of you that are building a list, let me know in the comments. Michelle, actually, I've never asked you that. How big is your text messaging list, your project broadcast?
11,000 phone numbers.
11,000 phone numbers. Y'all, like, sure, it sucks having your Facebook and Instagram shut down, but it would suck more not to have the phone numbers of 1,000 people. How many emails?
I have over 17,000 emails. 17. So I was able to send messages, how devastated I was with my new URLs for my temporary, to all of them. And now people are messaging me, you know what I mean? And maybe someone will know someone. So it's just a way to be able to, especially customers, especially people who once bought from you, they're not buying from you because they want that product. They know, like, and trust you now. And there's something about you that sparked their plug at one time, or whatever that quote is, and it can come back. So to let them know in the loop, this could be a great way to recreate, but you can't just have everything on automation. That people, like, I'm on people's automation. It's like, sometimes it'd be nice to hear from you, like, hey, how are you doing?
Yeah.
That's why going through your stories, what we do on my power hours, is so important, because literally I created this entire business through my stories, and I'm doing it again. Because now I'm in my stories, who actually has their eyeballs on me. I need to personally touch out and be like, hey, Brittany, what's up? Like, happy Monday to you. Like, my name is Michelle. I live in Bloomfield Hills. You know what I mean? I got, I have a daughter who's 10. What about you? I saw that you have a kiddo. How old is yours? Like, actually being real and being the one that rips the band-aid off and asking someone about them, because they're not going to reach out to you. They're not going to. So that's something that's really important. You can do this all through
And
your
you still have access to your Facebook group though, because you have your backup account.
Yes.
Okay, that's good. So you don't lose that.
Gone. Like, all my content that was me says not available, but I put myself as an admin in there. But like, everything that I've ever messaged in every message or every group says content not available. So all my photos, all that stuff is gone.
Yeah.
First, like the memories, when you
Yeah,
go back to that content 12 years ago, 15 years ago, 16 years ago, and all those memories, it's really nice to repurpose things. You have really amazing testimonials of people who, started their business 6 years ago with me, and, maybe they were making $200 a month, and then now they're messaging me and they're making, a full-fledged income, to be able to compare those two things, to see it through memories. But it is what it is, and you just have to do the right thing. I have to continuously, I always like to say, you shit or get off the pot. So I'm not getting out the pot. Like, I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to go live. I don't care if I'm talking to anyone. Like, I'm just going to keep doing the things that I did because it worked.
Yep.
And it might take some time, but everything will happen that's meant to be. And you got to just know that in this industry, you have to have the stories. If you really want to make a crap ton of money, you got to go live. But it's not something that you have to do. But John, this weekend, we were looking at a gal who has content blowing up. You can literally have yourself in the background videotape you cooking, and then have words put all the way over top of you cooking, so they can't even see you, saying like, I wish I knew sooner about, saturated fat, not this, and to use a CLA. If you want to know what my CLA is, drop a lemon in the comment section. Brilliant. Like, wait, what? And there's not even you. So that could be the stepping stone of you going, oh my gosh, like, I just did what she did and I got 100 followers in 1 week. I want to go live. Some of those things are stepping stones to getting you to being able to actually manage going live, because it might blow up. And these little things have to happen first for that to happen. So just start with something and do something.
Yeah. And I definitely noticed the people having the most success are leading with problems. They're leading with relatability, stories, testimonials. They're talking more about their systems, their products. Like you as an example, you're always talking about like working out, fitness tips, protein. Like, you have a very specific niche, but at the same time, you're then incorporating product conversation without it being so blatant, so direct, so spammy, or like an infomercial. I did see someone ask a quick question about what CRM do you use to organize all of your contacts?
Kajabi and Project Broadcast, but that was not something that I did for, like I said, that's an expensive thing. And I used to be like, oh my gosh, like, this person's using Kajabi, and you don't need to do any of that in the beginning. You'd be better off just putting all of these inside of an Excel spreadsheet,
Right.
emails, so that when you do get to the point where you're like, you know what, I have thousands and thousands, like, I need to be putting out a weekly newsletter, you'll know when it's the right time. But the problem is don't do anything at all. Don't sit back and go, oh, okay, well, now I have 11,000 people. Now I'm going to do something about it, because you should have had 11,000 of those emails. It takes time, just like a house is brick by brick. So that's what I use now, but I didn't. I was using MailChimp, and I was using Project Broadcast, because I really do like Project Broadcast. It's amazing.
Yeah. It's so nice to have a cell phone number. I mean, email, if you can do both, sure. But I do think, just in general, people open up text messages more often. It's easier to communicate that way than email. A lot of people, I mean, how many of you get emails, you don't even open your email anymore? Like, it's just like thousands and thousands of spam messages, emails coming through. I know a lot of us can probably relate to that. Now, to transition into, you recruited 30 people last month, which is, again, absolutely mind-boggling. It's basically enrolling a person a day. And guys, this is not like she's launching her business. She's been with us for 2 years, right? These are mostly strangers. So what's your philosophy there? What's your process there in regards to recruiting consistently?
So I was like, okay, I'm crushing it with the products. I go live and take my products every single day while I make breakfast. I'm going to go live for 10 minutes and just share my story. I'm going to share, what I used to do. I was in HR. I was a hairstylist. I was this, a pain point. I felt underappreciated. I missed home. I'm excited because I found this easy, duplicatable social retail system. And then I asked if I were to share with you, it's a 5-minute video. It explains it way better than I can. And it's helped more people than I can count on my fingers and toes. You don't have to say your testimony. It's helped more people than you know. I mean, come on, you know me, you know John. Would you take a peek? If so, drop a heart in the comment section. Well, guess what? In the beginning, the first 3 months, I got crickets, but I did it for 6 months and then it blew up. Because all those people that have been watching, it's planting a seed. When you plant a seed, it doesn't harvest overnight. You plant it, you water it, you water it, you water it. You wish you could see it growing. It's growing underneath the surface, but too many of you would have stopped and gone, okay, so now I'm wasting 10 minutes of my day. My lives for the product are amazing, but I just kept going. You have to try something for 6 to 9 months before you give up. And you really have to marry that process and divorce the results. You do. And it's not easy. And there are going to be times when it's really hard, but you just have to pull back and say, I'm so happy and I'm so grateful that I am recruiting more people than anyone in this whole world is. And that's what I started saying to myself. One time I said in the nation, and John goes, no, the world. I'm so happy and I'm so grateful that I am the #1 recruiter in the world. Like, I've been saying those things to myself, and now it's actually physically happening. But again, it's from what I was doing 6 months ago.
And you would do you do how many of those per week?
I do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. 4.
So 4 days, and then it's like the same story every time.
Every time.
Love it.
All my reels are the same thing. Like, when you get one thing, there's billions of people in this world. So if you have one thing that even has the most hearts, the most likes, that's what you're going to use as you're going to take that and you're going to polish it up and make it your best ever.
Yeah. Love it. And you know, obviously sometimes it's different backgrounds, or it's like you're in a different outfit, or you're saying it a little differently, and you do fine tune that over time. I think that's part of the challenge with a lot of people, is they're kind of winging it. They're just coming up with all this random stuff to talk about, and you have no consistency. And I like when you talk about like bigger companies that advertise, like Old Navy. Isn't that the one you always use? Old Navy. They're just advertising all the time, and they're very proud of what they do. Now, they might not show up as an infomercial, but like, you know what they got, and you know they're going to keep showing up, and eventually they're going to get your attention. Eventually they're going to get some people to go to their website or come into their store, and they're very consistent in their message. And by the way, this is any big brand, this is any large company, right? They're going to show up as often as possible with value, with storytelling, with the benefits of why their product, why their company, etc. So getting consistent on like, what is your value proposition? Like, what makes you unique? And Michelle kind of mentioned this earlier, but she's like, people don't just want to buy the product. That's true. They have a problem. You offer a solution. Why would they buy your solution? Why would they buy the product from your company, or specifically from you? Because you have the unique personality that they can relate to. You have the unique story. You caught them at the right time. You stay. Actually, I wish I could play you guys this one audio clip I received this morning from a woman I've been in touch with for I don't even know how many years. And something happened last week. We got into a conversation about business. I think maybe because I was in Portugal and we got talking about that. I don't know exactly how it all went down. I can't remember off the top of my head. But she sent me a message this morning how like she just appreciates how I build my business and how I've just stayed in touch over the years. Never missed a birthday. Always very responsive. You know, built the relationship. And now, because the timing is unique, she's ready to get started. The woman's writing a book. You know, she's got a son in college. Like, she would love to build a legacy for him, build a business that can you know, continue to pay her son's bills or whatever that looks like in the future. Like, she has that drive and that motivation, and she's just someone I've been friends with for years. The timing is right, and now she's open. Why do I say this? Because this is what it's all about. It's not really network marketing. It's relationship marketing, being a good human, staying in touch with people. And by the way, I know for some of us, we struggle with this because, you know, when you're new and you're kind of like a little desperate, let's keep it real. You got that commission breath and it stinks. You like need the money. But the truth is, if you're just coming across as like an infomercial, like very pushy, very needy, or very, it's a turnoff. Right now, if someone's coming to you, it is a little different. It is you have the upper hand. But if like you're just messaging a bunch of people and it seems like a copy and paste situation, you're going to get ghosted a lot more, because these are people that like didn't express interest. You didn't build much of a rapport. They haven't heard from you in years. And now you're pitching them on something the first time. Like that's a turnoff to people. Does that make sense? So what Michelle's very good at, what I'm very good at, and what I think any top earner is good at is really being a great connector, a great question asker. They're very good in conversation and, cracking a joke and loosening the person up, not because they're manipulating them or because they want to pitch them, but because it's just you're being a good human. Be a friend first and a marketer second. This is such an important piece. And I know a lot of us struggle with this because we got these goals and like we're really trying to get this thing going. Sometimes you got to take a step back to take a giant leap forward. Does that make sense? Smash the heart button if you're picking up what I'm putting down.
I agree. And with the Old Navy thing, it's like you see a commercial where you see someone, but it takes about 7 times for the human mind to see something before it actually clicks and is like, huh, okay, so how could this help me? Okay, I'm gonna go get that, that flip-flop from Old Navy. So you just have to continuously show up. Because look at John. If he wasn't showing up the way that he shows up through his stories, through his content, that lady that's writing the book, she maybe would have went with someone else, or she
Yep.
maybe never would have even joined. But because John is just consistent and this is his profession, and you can just tell he loves what it is that he does. But if he just sat back and didn't have stories, if he just sat back and didn't have content of being in Portugal, people wouldn't be like, dang, look at him. Like everyone loves it. That's how you have to look at yourself when you get started.
Right.
And you're going to have down the road from now 20 years, you're going to have the same thing. But what you're trying to do is you're comparing yourself to John. And when you compare yourself, it really is the thief of what it is that you're doing. Now you're no longer having fun doing it. Well, you know what? I'm going to go live. I'm going to have the reel. I'm going to have content. And I'm just going to keep freaking going. And I'm going to tell myself how awesome and how amazing my content is and how many lives it's attracting to me. And just do that for, like I said, 6 months. And then in 6 months from now, let's talk. But what happens when I say that to people is I meet up with them in 6 months and they didn't do anything. Well, this happened and grandma died. I mean, things happen. You just, how bad do you want it? John wanted it bad, man. He was going to appointments. He had a 2-week-old baby. He was sitting in hotels. He was traveling hours in the car. Like, no, thank you. No, thank you.
All true.
We have tools, we have mentors, we have leadership, we have systems. There is no better way. So I think that's great.
And this is also why. So a lot of you, let us know in the comments if you did the Rank Up Bank Up boot camp, that 6-week series. It was insane value, so much training, so much wisdom. People are having the most growth, the most leads, the most rank advancements, most customers. I mean, we've got people that are absolutely popping off. And I want to be clear. We have people in dozens of different companies. We've got CEOs and #1 income earners and all these different companies. Some are selling services and digital products, and some are selling, physical products. Some are international. Some are, whatever. All these different companies. And it was amazing. And by the way, you can still access that training. That program is still available. Now it's not live, right? You'd have to watch the recordings. It's so valuable, insane. But we had so many people that were like, listen, like we want to continue working with you guys. We want to continue to grow. And Michelle and I were talking and she's like, listen, people want to get on my power hours. They want to like watch me work. They want to see what I do and how I message people, how I follow up, the group chats. Like this is another thing we didn't even talk about. Like Michelle still puts me in multiple group chats every single day. She's putting 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 people in a chat. These are all business prospects in a chat, not a three-way call, not a Zoom. That stuff is exhausting. No scheduled appointments, just throwing us in chats. I do it. She does it. She's been one of the easiest people to coach and mentor. You have no idea. Like everything I tell her to do, she just does it, runs with it, and she really like masters it. It's insane. But these are the things that's like, we can teach you the stuff, but how many of you would love to watch her create a TikTok, a reel, watch her do her follow-up, start conversations, watch her overcome objections, reaching out to people, working with people, like to see her do the stuff. That's why we're continuing with the Rank Up Bank Up. But this next 6 weeks starts next Tuesday, the 25th, 12 p.m. Eastern. It'll be every single Tuesday for 1 hour on Zoom, watching her do a power hour, watching her do these income producing activities, watching her do the follow-ups. Now, of course, throughout she'll be able to answer questions and explain things, but imagine how amazingly valuable that would be. Like, could you imagine being able to like sit down with Michelle and just watch her do the stuff she's talking about? Like, would that be helpful? Now, unfortunately, you can't just fly to Michigan or now her new lake house and sit down and watch her work, but you can hop on a Zoom and watch her work, watch her do exactly what we're talking about: the marketing, the prospecting, the follow ups, all the things, the sales, the recruitment, everything for 1 hour, 6 weeks. If you want the details, drop power hours in the comments or just power hour. By the way, is the link mylifestyleacademy.com/power hour? Yeah, okay, there it is. I think Kyle's on here. Kyle, thank you. Desi, both of you guys are amazing. Bem is off this week, so I love Kyle and Desi stepping up big time. Thank you. But the link is mylifestyleacademy.com/power hours. You can also see it here on the screen. Take a screenshot. This is one of the best possible options for those of you that are wanting to learn from a top earner, a top recruiter. I mean, she's literally #1 for sales and #1 for personal recruiting in 2024, not just on my team, but I think like the entire company. Like, it's just insane the kind of numbers she is putting up. And again, she just had a record month last month. She's not brand new. She didn't join and bring over a big team. She started from scratch. She is working with complete strangers and knocking it out of the park. And for those of you that were in the Rank Up Bank Up boot camp, you know how intense that was, how valuable that was. That training was fire. And every single training session, by the way, went over an hour. So much value, very specific scripts, steps, what to do every day, the process, the tools, the systems, everything we've done to make us the #1 team in our company the last 9 years, almost 9 years. But with that being said, it doesn't matter what company you're in, you can learn exactly what we're doing, what she's doing specifically to generate leads, sales, recruits, follow-ups, all the things. Listen, I crushed it last month and I recruited 6 people. Just to put it in perspective, how good of a month she had. 30 personal recruits, y'all. It's just, it's silly. Anyway, mylifestyleacademy.com/power hours. The price will go up Wednesday. That's the other thing. That price is early bird pricing. The pricing will go up Wednesday. So if you think it'd be valuable, don't just join it. Get your team in on it. And all of you can sit there and watch Michelle work. And of course, she'll be interacting and stuff like that. I'll be on there as well. But it's going to be super valuable. Michelle, anything else you wanted to mention before we wrap this up?
VIP chat, because that's where you can message any questions,
Yes.
screenshot it to me. I answer the entire time, giving you, because that's what's going to happen. I would always get into a situation where I'd start doing something new, but then I'd go, what do I say to this? Everything I was doing, I was wording wrong. So I've overcome, I'm like the objections. That's why last month, so many people had record breaking months and Rank Up Bank Up, because they actually found clarity through what it was that they were doing wrong. And it wasn't that they were doing something wrong. It was the smallest little adjustment to the wording. Yeah. So you'll have that access through VIP to be in that chat for the next 6 weeks with not only me, but with John using screenshots. I mean, John gave so much valuable information in there. And honestly, it's just so much fun together. So remember, what you do this month is going to take you to power 4-6 months out. And that's going to lead you up to your biggest month in your company, which is going to be right around Black Friday. So
and let's keep it real too. The summer's tough. The summer's tough because people are distracted. The weather is nice. Kids are out of school. This is why we're doing this, because this is going to help you focus. Because here's the truth. All of you. Now, hold on. Let me back up for a second. How many of you want to make a full-time income? You want to fire your boss. You want 6, maybe 7 figures one day. How could you not be working your business and out? It's a freaking hour. The problem is a lot of you think you're working and really you spent 2 hours creating a reel that sucked. Or you spend 2 hours chit-chatting with people or 7 hours scrolling. That ain't paying your bills. That ain't going to grow your business. You know, I listened to personal development for 2 hours. Okay, that's not working your business. Learning is not working. You understand? 1 hour a day? You should all have a power hour that you're doing every hour. But you're going to be like, well, what do I do for an hour every day? That's what Michelle's going to help you with. She's going to have her $1 million tracker. She's going to show you all the things. So this is one reason I partnered up with her, because I don't just partner up with people and sell programs. Like, you guys know me. If you've been following me long enough, you know I don't just partner with anyone. The thing about Michelle is she's very good at what she does, which is amazing. But a lot of people are very good at something, but they're not that great at teaching it and like explaining it. Does that make sense? Where she's very calculated, very scripted. She's very she has all these steps and processes in place that make her a lethal weapon. And I'm just telling you, watching her do what she does is so much more valuable than just hearing her. Because I know some of the stuff, like I talk fast and she talks fast, and we're just like boom, 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 boom. And sometimes it's like, oh, they're like overwhelming my brain. I'm so excited, but like I still don't know, like, what should I do next? What do I do right now? That's why this is going to help you and be so extremely valuable. And again, this is early bird pricing. Doesn't matter what company you're in. Doesn't matter if you're selling lotions, potions, pills, water filters, skincare, hair care, cleaning products, knives, bowls, beads, pots, pans, jewelry, legal service, travel service. Does not matter. It's going to help anyone in any business. So we're excited about it. MyLifestyleAcademy.com/power hours. And like Michelle said, we would highly recommend the VIP chat. We would highly recommend the VIP chat. We even put together for the VIP where you can pay weekly installments. So like there's literally no excuse. If you're like, I can't afford like the full price. I think it's $497 for VIP. And again, that's early bird. So the price will go up Wednesday. But you could do weekly installments to make it happen. So we made this as affordable and as beneficial as we possibly could, because we know that you're going to get so much out of it. And Michelle, I just appreciate you so much. You willing to share. A lot of people at your level, having your level of success, would not share with people exactly what they're doing all day, every day. And quite honestly, I don't know that many top earners, and I hope this doesn't sound braggadocious, but most of you can't even reach your 7-figure upline. Most of you can't even reach the top earners in your company. And myself and Michelle will be in that VIP chat, literally answering your questions. Maybe not instantaneously all the time, but your questions will get answered. You will get mentorship from us for the entire 6 weeks. So not only do you get the power hours, but if you're VIP, you get that VIP chat. And I know those of you that were in the last VIP chat, you know how insanely valuable that was. So anywho, we're excited. You could probably tell. Smash the heart button if you're fired up and you're in. Let us know in the comments, and we'll be seeing you next Tuesday at 12 p.m. Eastern. Michelle, anything else you want to say before we wrap it up?
No, just get out there and crush. Thank you for having me. I can't freaking wait.
Let's also pray for Michelle that she gets back her Facebook and her Instagram, because you can imagine it's a little bit stressful and annoying. But all the more reason to build a list like we talked about. So let's go. Woo! Peace out.
All right. Peace, guys.